Hello, this is Sondra Oster Baras bringing you a few words of Bible from the heart of Biblical Israel. This week's Torah portion is Beshalach, and that means literally as he sent, and it begins with descending, the final exodus as God releases and sends forth the children of Israel from slavery out from Egypt. In chapter 15, we have a beautiful, beautiful poem, the Song of Moses, as Moses stands with the nation of Israel on the shores of the Red Sea just after it is closed again over the Egyptians. The Egyptian army is lost, and he sings this beautiful song, this poetry, praising God. And it's quite long, it's beautiful, it's very poetic, and there's a few elements in it. It sings praises to God, how God is powerful, how God is great, how God is a man of war. Then it recounts the amazing miracle of the defeat of the Egyptians and how the parting of the Red Sea and the Egyptian army just, falls and drowns into the sea and is no longer. Who is like you, O God, we have in verse 11. And then we have a few verses that talk about the effect of this amazing miracle of the parting of the Red Sea and the exodus from Egypt, the effect of these miracles on the surrounding nations. And we learned that the generals of Edom are petrified, and the heads of Moab are trembling, and the people who reside in Canaan are melting in fear, and it goes on in many ways to describe this amazing fear that has struck all the neighboring nations as a result. And then it ends with, and God will rule forever, and again recaps in just a few words, the final thing, that the Pharaoh and his chariots are all sunk in the sea, and the children of Israel walked through dry land in the midst of the sea. It is an epic poem of praises to God with some very important details of the miracle itself and of the effect of this miracle, not only on the nation of Israel, but on the entire world. Just after this major poem, we have a very short two scriptures about Miriam, who is Moses and Aaron's sister, and she also is a prophetess, we learn in verse 20. She goes out with the women. She feels a need to do something else. Now, there's no indication that the initial poem is not sung by the women. I think they were all together. The entire nation is standing there, men, women, and children. They're all part of this amazing epic poem that Moses is reciting. And yet Miriam feels a need to do something else. And she goes out with all the women following her with tambourines and dance. So first we see here something that we don't see at all in the first verse. It is an experience. It's not standing and reciting. It is dancing. It is making music. It is much more sensual. It is much more physical in expressing what they are feeling. And then Miriam herself has one line, okay? Sing to the Lord, for he has prevailed, or he has succeeded. The horse and his chariot has drowned in the sea. That's the whole thing, And I look at this, and then I look at Moses's long poetry, and I'm saying, what is it that Miriam is expressing here that is necessary, that is different? What is she adding to this picture? And first of all, I think when she says, sing to the Lord, it's very different than what Moses is saying. Moses is saying, I will sing to the Lord, and he begins to recite this poem. And she turns around to the women and she says, sing to the Lord. Sing to the Lord any way you want. We don't have to create fancy poems. We don't have to be literary scholars. We don't have to be prophets. Every single person among you, all of you women, you can sing in your own way, in your own voice, with your own words, with your tambourines. You can dance. It is a very natural, very spontaneous expression of song and of praise to God, very different from the more formal kind of rendition that we hear from Moses. But also what it is that she says, she basically summarizes what the miracle is to the nation of Israel. God is wonderful. He is victorious over Egypt, who he has sunk into the sea. Okay, that's the whole story. They tried to kill us. God interfered. He got rid of our enemy. We're fine. That's the whole story. The detail here is not in the words. The detail here is in the expression, the letting loose, the ability of each of these women to express themselves as they see fit. What we're also missing in this is the effect that this event has on the nations of the world, because it doesn't matter to the people standing there. Moses, we have a sense his song is not just for the people standing there. His song is for eternity. His song is so that we, as we're reading the song, can appreciate, wow, this is an event that not only affected some people standing there at the shore of the Dead Sea. This is, excuse me, not the Dead Sea, the Red Sea. These are, doesn't just affect them at that point. This is something that has widespread effect. Already at that time, the nations heard and were frightened and responded. Even as we, in generations later, as we read this, we too will respond, and we will have that amazing, understanding of who God is. And so Moses' song is a very important expression. But Miriam adds something that Moses' song doesn't have, the spontaneity, the ability of every individual person to look at an event that has had cataclysmic influences and to say, yes, I can sing to God. I can thank God. I can sing and praise and dance. Whatever I feel, this is how I can express my thanks to God. Have a wonderful weekend. Shabbat Shalom.
I hope you enjoyed that video, and we'd like to be sure you're getting all of our video content. So just click on the subscribe button below, as well as on the notification bell, and that way you will have easy access to all our material. We look forward to staying in touch with you. God bless you, and have a wonderful day.